for more than a week for a weather window to open up to make it up the coast, it was finally time to leave San Francisco Bay. Conditions were less than ideal, but it looked like we would be able to make it as far as Crescent City, approximately 300 nautical miles to the north, before conditions offshore deteriorated again.
How are you liking the boat ride so far, Cass?
It's bouncy.
What have you been doing?
I've been watching Just Add Magic.
I don't think she's ever watched so much TV.
Big wave.
Conditions had improved after the first day offshore after we left San Francisco, but on our second night offshore north of Cape Mendocino, the wind shifted to over 20 knots on the nose and we were beating into steep wind waves all night. Everyone on board was looking forward to tying up to a dock and waiting for some better sea conditions to develop.
I actually never seen the bike unfold.
Crescent City is a small stopover for people driving along Highway 101 in Northern California, and the harbor has a large commercial fishing fleet. It is one of the few harbors between San Francisco and Seattle that doesn't have a dangerous river bar crossing. We had read about things to do, and the main attractions appeared to be a small aquarium called Ocean World and a lighthouse overlooking the harbor entrance. Cassidy was learning about recording data in science class, so we brought a tape measure and notepad to the aquarium.
You want to measure? Do you want me to measure? I won't touch it. Let's see, 5 inches, do you think? So I should write down C-star, 5 inches?
And she's going to show you just how high a sea lion can get. Station, first you're going to want to send some red dewy bubbly water. Okay? Okay?
Point Lighthouse is on a point outside Crescent City Harbor, and the point becomes an island at high tide. It is maintained and operated by volunteers who live in the innkeeper's quarters for a month at a time. The couple who was living there when we visited gave us a tour.
And Crescent City had one of the few really good harbors between San Francisco and Seattle. And so that's why they put the lighthouse here, is just to show how to get into our harbor. This lens was not the first up in our tower, but it was in the tower from 1907 to 1953. It's called a Fresnel lens. It's a 4th order Fresnel lens. Fresnel was a French physicist. The other thing without electricity was the only way to create a flash was to rotate the lens. And so they had a system of chains and weights and a crank, very works kind of the same principle as a grandfather clock or a clock.
But this clock is original. It was put in here when the Lighthouse was established. Banjo clock, and it's actually been running since 1856. It's kind of almost pre-record player, but it works. And so, if I have a moment, this is you have to wind this one up as opposed to electric. And this one still works. Maybe that's as good as a smartphone, right? Almost better than playing games on a smartphone. What's cool is they have a lot easier to operate volume control than the others.
After being in Crescent City for 5 days, the heavy wind offshore was supposed to be dying down, and it was looking like we might get a weather window to make it all the way up around Cape Flattery in Washington and one more offshore passage. We finished up a few errands to get the boat ready and decided to let someone else do the cooking the night before we headed out. The wind that had been blowing offshore for the last 5 days was almost entirely gone the morning that we got underway from Crescent City, and the weather window that we had hoped for appeared to be opening. We had almost perfect conditions for the remainder of the trip to Washington, with low wind and minimal ocean swell.
It's real yucky out here.
Where are we going?
We're going to Washington.
Where's your tooth?
Right here.
It's so crazy.
Hi, Tooth Fairy. I'm about to lose this tooth. I'm out of the sea. I'm worried you won't find me. I hope you can find us. Motor Vessel Cassidy.
How long have we been on passage for, Cassidy?
2 days. This is the radar. It tells where things are. The sonar, it tells how deep. The chart tells where we are.
Ice cream.
What do you like in Anacortes, Daddy?
Ice cream! We arrived in Washington with about a week to spare before our organized flotilla to Alaska was scheduled to depart. We had to make some repairs and provision for the trip, and therefore decided that Cap Sandy Marina in Anacortes would be a good place to dock for the week before heading over to Roche Harbor and the San Juan Islands to begin our trip north.
Thanks for watching. Tune in next time when we meet up with the Slowboat Flotilla group in Roche Harbor.